ultimately, Sally, you know, in order for us to love ourselves, we need to know what love means. And if you've never been loved by anyone in your life, and no one's ever believed in you, or no one's ever, especially those key figures in our life, our parents, you know, especially for a woman, if her father's never told her she's beautiful,
she is.
Self-worth is very important. You know, the relationships we build in those early years after we're born, the connections we make, how we're seen, how we're heard, all of that helps to build that sense of self. To other people. I mean, I've
sometimes I cry for help. Do you mean sometimes?
Well, I just think that there are people that use social media because they want to get a message to someone. You know, so they think if I post this,
then they'll see
I'm hoping this person will see it, so that they can think that I'm actually a lot better than they actually think I am. I think social media is used for all sorts of reasons. There's a lot of benefits to it. For me personally, I've noticed that whenever I post things on social media about what I've been up to, suddenly there'll be an influx of texts. So people will hi.
Yeah, I saw your photos and stuff.
Yeah, how are you? You look really well. How's things going? How are the boys? People I haven't heard from in a while.
That's nice, right?
Yes, but this is the flip side, right? There are the people that will say, oh, I thought you were struggling at the moment because the last time I spoke to you, you said that you were at a really low ebb, but you look really well in the pictures. You don't look like you're at a low ebb to me. And it's like, hello, I am at a low ebb and things are pretty shit. But actually, I'm making an effort to look well and to enjoy myself and to pull myself out of that dark hole so that I can live. Or would you rather that I posted pictures of me with my mascara running down my face and unwashed in bed with everything covering? I mean, is that what you want to see? You know, it's like, how do you strike that balance? How do you? And then you've got the people that are not on social media. You know, there's somebody I love very dearly, and I wish she was on social media, because I don't know what the hell is going on in her life. And
yeah, it's a way of keeping in touch.
And every time I speak to her, it's the same patterns. You know, the same patterns, and she's not in a good place. And she seems to know what everyone's doing, because I think she
secretly has a profile.
She does.
I know someone who does that.
Really? But isn't that so sad?
Yeah, so they want to claim that they're not interested in social media and they're not on social media. They don't really do all of that. But they are, except they are.
She'll say, I don't want people knowing my business. But when you speak to her, that it just doesn't marry. That's when you know that person's not quite well.
Yeah, no,
you know, it's different extremes. It's people that are. Some people are so out there with their social media,
and some people is the exact opposite. I'll tell you what someone mentioned to me a couple of weeks ago. He said to me that the self-love market is saturated, right, and that everyone is trying to bring this message out. And I thought about it and I go, okay, it's a good point. But this is the reason why makeup will always be in trend, for example, is because, you know, you have the Fenty, you know, because that will take over from the MAC and whatever, you know, the different brands, because there always is demand for it. Right?
Is Fenty the one that Rihanna made?
Yeah. So it's just an just an example.
Yeah.
For self-love, do you think that I'm right in thinking that is the same? So, yes, probably the world and his wife would like to talk about self-love. However, isn't that because there is a need for it? Maybe it's not fully understood. Maybe people get it wrong. Maybe people need to hear these things over and over and over again, because I don't think it's something that would ever be not trending. And by not trending, I mean not important. This is very important, and it's a very easy concept to get wrong as well. So, for example, we've made some really big statements here. We've talked about the hurt people. We've talked about you can't pour from an empty cup. And then I have gone on to say that self-love reigns supreme. So there are so many variations of love, but without self-love, none of them can truly work.
Do you know, though, Sally, I think that I agree with you, but I'm agreeing with you as a 50-year-old. You know, a lot of people, they don't understand, and I don't even think we fully understand. What does self-love actually mean? Because, you know, I there are times, you know, I do stuff to myself.
To yourself?
Well, I mean, like, for example, like tonight, I had 2 chocolates, right?
It's only 2 little chocolates.
I know, but I shouldn't have had those. I should have had 1. I should have stopped at 1. And I'm going to say that because recently I've been overindulging, and I know, and it's not about feeling guilt, but I know that that's not self-love. It's not like when I go out, for example, and my friends and I, we drink a lot and we have a really good time. And then there's that you know, they're like, oh, let's have 1 more. And I say, no, you know what, I won't. And they say, oh, go on, 1 last one for the road. And I feel like I can't do it. I can't have that last glass of wine. But I don't want to be the one who says no, because, you know, and then I feel the pressure, and then the next day I feel so
rubbish,
awful.
Yes,
like it ruins my whole day. I can't get up out of bed, and then I feel groggy. I mean, can you hear my voice, by the way? Can you hear my voice? That is a bit different to how you remember. That's from partying for the last few days.
So it's not about myself, Mirella.
Yeah, but the thing, the reason
party.
I know, but what I'm saying is self-love is also about thinking and taking some responsibility and saying, okay, I really want another chocolate, but actually, is that really me showing love to myself? Will the Mirella of tomorrow be happy that I had that chocolate? Will the Mirella of tomorrow be happy that I had that other glass of wine, or that I've made this decision to go to this place tonight that maybe I shouldn't be? You know, it's all about thinking, what will my future self be thinking about the decisions that my current self is making? And that took me a lot of time to really, really understand, honestly, because I remember when I was growing up, I used to do some really stupid things, which now, if I was to tell you what I did, you'd say that's not stupid, but I think they were. I think they were big mistakes, but I did them at the time because I thought, why shouldn't I? I want to do this. It's my right. It's my prerogative, as Bobby Brown said. It's my prerogative. I can do it. I'm an adult now. It's my decision. It's my body. It's my whatever. Yes, all those things are true. But really, how do we know that making that decision is going to be the best decision as we get older?
So what you're saying, Mirella, is that sometimes self-love is difficult. It's not easy.
I think
it's not about going for a massage. That's it.
Oh my God. You know, sometimes people say, I'm still in bed, for example, on a day off, and it'll be like 11 o'clock. And I'll say, yeah, me too. And they say, yeah, let's just stay in bed today and have a self-care day, right? And I think, okay, self-care. Now, I think the most important way to self-care and self-love is listen to your body. That is it. If your body is telling you need to rest, then you need to rest. But actually saying, oh, I'm just going to stay in bed today, is that really self-caring? Because is it going to be more beneficial for your state of mind to actually say, well, you know what, I will stay in bed till maybe 11:30, but then I'm going to get up and be really productive because it's my day off. And I'm going to balance having a bit of time to, do something that I really enjoy. Like I might text someone, go for a lovely lunch, or I might go for a walk, or I might watch a film on my own. Now I've got the house to myself. Actually staying in bed all day, and, is that really going to be beneficial to me? I know it's not for me. But sometimes people encourage me. They say, stay in bed. Don't get up. If I say, oh God, I've got so much ironing to do, leave it.
Yeah, till tomorrow.
So the point is that sometimes self-love is also about saying,
difficult decisions. Yeah.
Get up, girl. Get up, sort your shit out. Just put on your big girl pants and you can do this. But it takes work. Believe me. I mean, it takes work. And these posts that you see where people are saying self-love, some of them I don't find them authentic. I really don't. I don't find them authentic. I think they're just doing it because they're really insecure, and they're desperate for people to like them. And
this thing of not feeling accepted, not feeling you're good enough, not feeling like anything you do is correct, not feeling lovable, feeling invisible. Now adding exposure to it. So all of this stuff online is very hectic. So you post it and I sit down and cringe at myself. And then I'm like, okay, so if you're going to feel this way, why are you doing it? Why are you doing it?
Listen, you have to prepare yourself for the amount of people that are going to say, who does this woman think she is?
That's it. So,
but you have to prepare yourself for that.
I know, that's what.
Because there are people that will say that. I mean, why do you say King Sally? Is that saying we don't need men?
No.
What does it mean? What does it mean?
Opposite. It's just acknowledging strength, but in an uncommon way. So my dad used to call me that, for example. He used to say that you're the man of the family, but that's a joke. So
reason for it.
Yes, but I don't need to explain to you.
But you do. Because you see, people have their own interpretations.
Yeah, well, sometimes I say it.
Because that's the thing about, you see, what we're talking about here as well is it's all about interpretation. You know, I have a friend, he's called David Grant. And I see David.
Carrie's husband.
Yeah, Carrie and David, I see them really often. And David always... He says this line, which
without context,
something like.
So it gives people the right to
judge,
and to
without knowing the context
of it.
Now, when you said this person says to you that she doesn't like you saying King Sally, I've never heard you call yourself King Sally. This is the first time.
Really?
Right. And my interpretation, as someone who's like, I'm non-judgmental, I just interpreted that as you call yourself King Sally without knowing what you just described, which is now completely understand now. I thought you were saying King Sally like, I don't need no man, I'm king enough, right?
I love that.
Okay, but someone that doesn't know you, this is what I'm saying. You see, and even before I knew you, then as the time has gone on through the texts, through your pages, I've realized that you're nothing like I first thought you were. I feel like actually because of your brand and because of, I think your facade, the first time I met you, I think you give off a much kind of more don't fuck with me kind of air, when actually you're really not like that. You're really sensitive. Like, and I say that in a really good way. Like, you're very, you're very vulnerable in a lot of ways. Yeah, no, I definitely think that.
Do you know,
it is really hard, but it's about being authentic and true to yourself. Because actually, I think the fact what you're trying to do isn't something for yourself, you're doing it for women.
Yes.
Is that true to say?
Of course.
Or is it for men and women?
I think it's for everybody, but mostly women, because women suffer a lot more.
Of course.
Even though there's a case for men and the gap and the fact that they feel like they need to be all macho all the time. I feel like secretly they too can do with a little bit of self-love coaching.
Well, men's role in society has changed.
Yes.
Men don't know where they sit anymore.
Yeah.
Back in the old times, men knew their place, women knew their place. And I'm sorry if I'm not being politically correct.
No,
non-binary. But I'm talking about, if you think about a man and a woman, they make a baby, they make a family, the man that knows his role, the woman knew her role back in the day. Nowadays, men, women, everything's a bit of a jumble. Would we be sitting here 100 years ago with this setup? Think about that. 100 years ago, would we be sitting here like this, having this conversation?
No.
And having these conversations and thinking about empowering other women? I mean, think about, where women were 100 years ago, black women, any ethnic minority. Think about that. Look where we are now, and yet we're still having to fight to be heard. And I think, and the thing is, what's really sad is that women I can't remember if it was Oprah. I mean, we should adjust each other's crowds.
Yes, without letting anyone else know that you had to adjust it. I say that as much as possible, but sometimes, when you're speaking to a crowd, it's not always easy to just be completely relaxed. So sometimes you need a safe space. So, for example, what we've shared this evening, it has been a safe space. Do you see what I mean? Because it's quiet, it's honest, it's simple. There's no music and dancing and drinks. Do you know what I mean? And makeup, and it's a very different vibe. But you can't always have that. You can't have that on social media. So, and plus, there has to be a balance. You can't overdo it. So, whereby you get to the point where people are like, here we go, bring out the violin. Do you know what I mean? So, there has to be a balance, which I wonder if I'm investigating. So I wonder, You're Alive, there's something in me that goes back to unwanted places because I'm trying to fix something like I'm Jesus Christ. Do you know what?
Well, we all try to do that, though.
It's not me. It's not my job.
No, I know, but I think there's a lot of us that do that because we feel like what we're really doing is we're trying to heal that inner child.
Oh, inner child.
When people, they do judge. Yeah. They judge, and I think when people see you putting your content out there, listen, Sally, you know that we can't trust everyone. I think to myself, have you heard that expression? When people show you who they are, believe them. You've shown me who you are, I know who you are, and I know exactly how I'm going to play this now. And that's the same with the brand, it should be able to speak for itself.
Yeah,
as a graphic, is that word unshakable? It says it all. It means I can't be broken. That's what that means to me. If you said to me, what does this mean? I'm wearing it. It means I can't be broken. You can't shake me anymore. When I think of shaking, I think of an earthquake. What's an earthquake? Turmoil. What's turmoil? It's when you're displaced, when your world is turned upside down. If I remain unshakable, it means that yes, I am going to have curveballs. I am going to have obstacles. I am going to have illness. I am going to have heartache. I am going to have pain, death, all of this stuff, because that's life. But am I going to let it define me? No. Am I going to let it break me? No. Am I going to let it mold me? Yes. Am I going to make it tear me apart? No. And that's, I think, what this is about, this unshakable. It's like, you're not going to shake, you're not going to, I'm unshakable. I'm going to tell you something else about the book, right? Do you know what I love about this book? The first thing I will tell you is that there are so many books out there, and they're thick, and there's so much writing, and they're labor intensive. This is a booklet. And what I love about it is that it's very, very accessible. It's broken into different parts, which means you can come back to it. You can thumb through it. And I love the different chapters. I'll give you, let's just see where I end up, right? Look. The love that held on, friendship and platonic love. Life threw storms their way, hard days, miscommunications, distance. They came to realize that love is not in never struggling. Love is choosing each other again and again, no matter what. So this is about friendship. Yeah. Unshakable quotes. A love that is tested and still stands in is not fragile, it is unshakable. Again, this is what I was talking about regarding friendship. When people let you down, but you let them back in, and then they improve, that's when you think, right, that was worth taking that risk to let them back in. But it's the ones that show you time and time again who they are.
Yeah.
And that's when you have to remain unshakable by saying, if I keep letting this person into their life, they will break me. Because there are toxic people out there.
Yes, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And, and they will. Because unfortunately, yes, unshakable, but just like an earthquake, we know that these natural disasters can happen at any moment, and it's a bit like if you have a ceramic pot, you can chip it, and then it might break, and you can piece it back together with super glue, but there'll come a time when there'll be so many breaks.
You have to discard it.
It's irreparable. Even if you do that whole Japanese, what's it called?
Kintsugi.
I love that.
Me too.
It's such a beautiful thing to do, but if you remain
Unshakable.
but you have to go through it to understand it.
You do. So I think it's a personal journey, actually. And, those who get it, those who don't, and that's fine. And I think, as with everything in life, unshakable means different things to different people.
Yeah.
Self-love will also mean different things to different people. And, that's fine.
But with that come judgments, though.
Which one has to be prepared for.
Because again, even the word love means different things to different people.
Sally Chibuzie here. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. I've been with Mirella tonight. I've had some delicious dinner and we've cried over EastEnders. We're worried about Martin.
Not Martin.
They better not kill off Martin Fowler.
Martin, we want you and Stacey to have your happy ending.
We do. I still feel really ashamed.
I didn't cry.
Yes, I did, like a baby.
I didn't cry because I had to look after someone.
I had a meltdown, like literally a meltdown. That was awful, but anyway, yes.
It was sad.
It is what it is.
It's very sad.
Yeah, my empathy radar.
Especially when you actually broke it down.
So I hope you've enjoyed this. It's been very insightful. I've enjoyed a lot of insights from Mirella, and she's sometimes invariably had her art psychotherapy hat on, which has been amazing. So it's been really good for me to hear what it is that she thinks about the book, The Love That Lasts. And we've come to an agreement that self-love is indeed supreme, right?
It is.
Agree with me.
And also, before you conclude, I can't believe we spent the whole night talking and we haven't mentioned one of the most important songs, which was when I was growing up, was one of the songs where I first understood the term about self-love.
The greatest love of all?
Yes.
Yes. Oh, always.
I didn't know what that song meant.
Yeah.
And then one day it just clicked, that song. But how do you explain that to someone? You can't until they understand
it, yeah. So that's why they're going to start from that.
Absolutely. Read this book because the best thing about this book is these little sections that they ask questions on self-reflection, like, have I ever sacrificed too much of myself in love? How can I make space for both myself and others? I love it.
Yeah, it takes you into reflection mode, right? So anyway, we're going to leave you on that note. This is going to be out if it isn't already. And I hope you pick up a copy and see what the hype is all about. Take Mirella's word for it if you don't want to take mine. Unshakable is a state of mind. Take your state of mind with you everywhere you go. Be unshakable. Be in truth with yourself. Love yourself. Thank you. See you later. Bye.